any college anywhere, but it has to be given at any high school anywhere. So just to circle back to your original question, it's just another a layer or another level of just teaching. So it's almost like in middle, like you have like your advanced classes. It's just advanced like the next level.
And are there teachers on your campus that are willing to be mentors? Is that something that you have in place as a part of the onboarding process for those specific teachers?
Yeah, depending on the campus, and we also like do like a lot of pairings with teachers. One of the important things is about a couple of times a month we actually do try to have like job lights where all the teachers can get together. Because of the numbers and the number of kids that take the class, more likely than not, you're probably going to be the only teacher that teaches that particular course.
So specific.
Correct. So just kind of getting the teachers off the island is a great help. One thing that we've also kind of figured out is if you teach AP language and composition and then you teach AP Spanish language and composition, they're actually pretty much the same courses, just in different languages. Mm-hmm. So one thing that we did was we have success with this. We kind of make like a similar cohort of still teachers in English and Spanish, mm-hmm. and then even share kids at time.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So, okay, now leaning more into the compensation side, is their pay the same as general ed teachers? I consider general ed, even though it's on the college level side. What does that look like as far as salary schedules or stipends? Do they receive a stipend or an incentive for doing this?
Right now, it's going to be roughly the same, but you also have to keep in mind that this is already the highest paying district. I mean, probably in the state. Now, previous districts that I have worked in, when I worked north of here, there was like an incentive plan where actually I gave you my own personal experience about 10 years ago when I taught actually south of here. Every kid that got a 3, I got $50. Every kid that got a a 4, I got $100. Every kid that got a 5, I got $150. And I was a pretty good teacher, so I would get a check for like $10,000.
Oh my gosh. So our district needs to adopt that. All right. So let's talk as we kind of close out and get to our end. I want to talk about evaluations of your teachers, and I want to talk about anytime you have to dismiss teacher or do not renew their contract. So as far as evaluation, how would you describe the district's role in supporting the implementation of teacher and staff evaluation systems? I know for a personal, but I want to hear from my HR standpoint with our spot observations and all of that.
Yeah, it's all connected, and a lot of what they use applies to advanced academics as well. There actually is a spot form that's just for advanced academics, and it just lines up perfectly. And it kind of all comes back to really, if you're teaching the lowest kids or you're teaching the highest kids, good teaching is good teaching. One thing that we make sure we look for is because you can't end up in a situation, especially at some of our like very, very high performing high schools. Mm-hmm. You really have to be able to push those kids in like a certain way. And if you're just not up to snuff and you're in a situation where those kids, you know, they're still failing, but on STAR and then they're proficient in a lot of other areas, then we do have to move on and find something else for you to do. Mm-hmm. That's just a reality. And then there's such a long, and college board classes go back so far. So like, you know, I can look at one school, for example, I can go back 15 years of their data.
Okay. So before you find something for us to do, is there any steps that you would take to try to coach them, or do you think that it's so content specific that you either have it or you don't, as when you get to that level?
Good instruction is good instruction, and it's very important to always coach people up. You just have to know what the coaching wants. Sometimes it will be content, sometimes it will be the art of the teaching. And then the important thing is, can you as a teacher keep up with like the frenetic pace, especially at high school? I mean, do you have 1 prep? Do you have 4 prep? It's a lot of different variables in there.
Can you speak a little bit about your documentation of your teachers as far as write-ups, or did you forget as far as what you want to push down to your principals?
Mm-hmm. So just standard tracking protocol with HISD. So if you have to end up going through the process of writing somebody out, just all documentation. Are you hitting your metrics? Are you hitting your goals? What are your averages? Everything according to, well, I know it's TES now, but the T-test system. And all that is pretty standard or typical protocol. And then usually we have to go through the process all over again of trying to find an effective replacement person for that particular position. And that can be the very, very difficult part, because especially for some of those courses, like your high chemistries and your calculus ABs and whatnot, it is very, very difficult to find people to teach that at like Really,
And then at any level, and then
yeah.
especially if you have to get somebody in the middle of the year,
Mhm.
where you're gonna find that person, and also what are we gonna do with those kids?
Correct, and that will severely impact it. So it's a decision that we have to kind of like look at and make a very tough call on because I'm gonna have to start all over again, and I have no idea what I'm starting with.
Okay, how long has it been? I don't want to take too much of your time.
Okay.
We have about one more question I really want you to elaborate on if you can. So, what advice would you give a new or aspiring administrator when it comes to managing personnel decisions ethically and effectively?
First and foremost is be open and honest. Um, don't beat around the bush, and just set your expectations. So just set your expectations from day one. Stick to your expectations, um, and just make sure that you don't have any surprises. Nothing should be a surprise. If I told you August 15th that this was your expectation, and September 10th I did a check-in, and October 12th I did a check-in, and you either are or are not meeting these expectations, I'm gonna let you know repeatedly, here are things you need to fix, and here's the things that you're not fixing, so on and so forth. And if it continues to be the things that are not being fixed or that needs to be addressed that are not getting addressed, then we have to move forward. So consistency is key.
Consistency is key.
Consistency is key.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I have a lot to reflect on from this interview. From an assistant principal perspective, we have a little bit of experience in the hiring and live for our campuses. I'm an elementary school, but a grander level and hearing about high schools, especially with that college level courses, was really interesting. I thank you so much for your time.
Very well.